Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy, and today I'm going to be talking about something that I honestly found really interesting, and it is not clickbaity at all in any way, guys, okay? Now watch this video to the end and I promise you that you're going to understand why we cannot live without bees, okay? During my research when I was looking up topics for new videos, I actually came across this and I was reading up on it, and I thought it was really cool and frightening at the same time. I have always hated bees, you guys should know that I despise all kinds of insects. If you haven't watched this video yet, I'm gonna leave a link up here, and bees, it's not that I have anything against bees, but the fact that they sting you and it hurts, and a lot of them stinging you at the same time can kill you, they kind of scare me a bit, but I really appreciate them a lot more now, and you guys are going to understand why. Now here's the thing. Let's start off with the big one. If bees were to simply one day go extinct, if every bee on the planet stopped existing, we would all die. I am not exaggerating or kidding in any way at all. Bees are literally the most important living thing on this planet. And did you guys know that bees are responsible for no more and no less than 70% of the entire world's agriculture? I mean, we literally need bees for our food, It's a very intricate process, but it starts off with the fact that they perform pollination, I think you guys know how it works, pretty much they use pollen, right? They pollinize, they go into flowers and they use the pollen, they absorb it, then they go back to their hive and they use that to make honey, Then we have to eat the honey or use it for other products, and other animals too, same thing, And it pretty much explains, because the plants, they actually do need this process to happen, they do need pollination, yes, pollination. I keep confusing with polymerization, Shout out to anyone who knows Yu-Gi-Oh, the card they use to fuse stuff, But pollination is essentially one of the most important processes in nature, in the world, right up there with photosynthesis, that the plants do. Now, guys, it's pretty crazy how this works, because it's actually estimated that for every 3 types of plants, 2 of them need pollination. They actually do need bees to work this process so they can actually live and survive, The plants literally need the bees to pollinize them so they can survive, 2 out of 3 plants. 2 out of every 3 plants needs pollination, So right off the bat, if bees disappeared, a lot of the plants around us would also disappear, Same thing with the grass, It's kind of like how can I explain? If there are no bees, here, I'll try to give you guys an example. If there were no bees, there would be no plants, If there were no plants, there would be no animals to eat the plants. Wait, let me start over. Basically, if there were no bees, there would be no plants because they wouldn't pollinize them. No plants would equal no food for the animals, to eat the food. And then if you happen to not be a vegetarian, there would be no animals for you to eat, It all goes back to the bees, because if you're somebody who eats meat and they're like, if the cows and the bulls can't eat the plants anymore because they wouldn't be pollinized, then they would eventually starve and die and they would go extinct. Then what the hell would we eat, Even if you are a vegetarian, there would be no plants. There would be literally no way for you to extract any of the materials that you use to make the food that you eat, whether you're a vegan or not, So it all comes down to that, I mean, if there are no more bees, there are no more plants. If there are no more plants, there's no more food, We would eventually starve and die, We literally need bees to make our food, And I mean, especially if you're a bear who loves to eat honey, it's the same concept, There would be no bees to make the honey for the bears to eat, Of course, bears don't only thrive on honey, but it's just an example, It's just to kind of try to show you guys exactly how important these little buzzing douches are, because I hate them, although I do appreciate them a lot more now, but I still hate them. Another interesting tidbit of info that I want to give you guys here in case you don't know, are you aware that bees are the only animals that cannot transmit diseases? Bees are literally the only living things on this planet that cannot spread diseases, Like they can't catch, for example, a virus and then sting you and it spreads to you, like mosquitoes, malaria, They can't carry it. Any other animal can except for them. I don't know how exactly it works. What is the scientific principle here? But they can't. They can't harbor and carry diseases around, and spread it, They're literally like the purest animal on the planet, and it's a damn insect, that can kill you, And it's pretty crazy because I mean, so many animals, especially pigeons, for example, you know, they spread so many diseases so quickly and easily that it's crazy, you know. Same thing with the squirrel, you know. A squirrel, I mean, rats, you know. Rats and squirrels, in case you guys don't know, are actually very similar, but since the squirrel looks cute, we associate it with being simple and innocent, you know. But it's actually just as dangerous as a rat, you know. And they spread a lot of diseases, but bees don't. I don't know how or why. They just can't. They can't spread any diseases to people or other animals, you know. It's really, really crazy how it works. And I think it's really cool, you know. It pretty much, like, if you see a bee, one bee around your house, I mean, you can kill it or you can just, you know, kind of I don't know, push it away out of your house, because you know that that one bee is going to be vital to the food chain somewhere around you, you know. If it stings you, it's going to hurt. If you're allergic, you can get sick and even die, but it's not going to spread any disease. So it's going to be kind of like a disease-free sting. You know, it's kind of weird to think about it that way, but it's crazy. I mean, you normally associate insects with carrying so much crap in them, you know, but bees are completely pure. I think that's really cool. It kind of explains, you know, like, because honey is something that's very, very sweet, you know, and it comes from an animal that is also sweet, you know. It's, I don't know. I just think it's really cute. But, like, the process behind the pollination is pretty intricate. I didn't really research this because I thought it was gonna make the video too long and intricate, you know, but they use the pollen to make honey somehow. That's what I'm gonna leave you guys with, somehow, you know. I don't know exactly how it works, but you guys can look this up for yourself later if you have the curiosity. I don't know exactly what the process is like, but I think it's really, really cool, you know. And it's like, it's a circle. It's literally the circle of life, you know. Bees, they're out there, man, collecting their pollen and using it to make the flowers and the plants thrive, you know. They take it back to their hive, they make honey, then we take the honey. I'm against farming bees, those farms where you take the bees and poison them and force them to make honey, you know. But I don't know if that's the only way to do it, if there are other ways to collect their honey, but whatever. But still, as long as you don't hurt the bees, I'm fine. After watching the bee movie, you know, my concept of bees really changed a lot. But I don't know if it's true or just a fabrication of Hollywood, you know, making a random movie there. You know, some time ago, there was actually something that happened here in Brazil, the country that I live in, which really made me angry when I found out. Like, at the time, I was like, okay, big deal. But today, understanding how important bees are to our society, you know, and nature around us in general, this actually really irked me, you know. Some time ago, Brazil released an agrotoxin that killed 500 million bees. I don't know how or where exactly, in what region, but they killed 500 million, guys, you know. 500 million bees were killed instantly because of this toxin, you know. Now, I don't know exactly what the effects were, but I'm pretty sure that it had some radical change somewhere in the food chain, in the natural system of things there in that region, you know, because you can't kill off this many bees and not expect for there to be consequences in nature, you know, because I mean, we literally need these little guys, you know. I actually stopped killing bees now. Whenever I see a bee inside my house, they do pop up. I try really hard to push it away. I blow on it, or I don't know, I take a magazine and I blow wind in front of it to make it go out, you know. I try really hard to not kill bees anymore, especially after hearing about this agrotoxin bullcrap, you know. It was insane, and I don't even know why. I don't know what happened. If it was like an intentional extermination, they tried to get rid of the bees, or they did it to experiment with something else and it ended up unfortunately killing the bees. I don't know exactly what happened, but it really, really pissed me off, you know, after I found out. And like, you guys have to, like, I don't like insects. I hate them. If I see any insect around my house, I'm gonna kill it, you know. Roaches, mosquitoes, flies, you know. Flies are a little harder, but you guys get the idea. But now I can appreciate bees a lot more, you know. Even ants, you know, depending on the region, they actually do have some kind of vital importance to the food chain, you know, and the ecosystem in general. But bees are way more important, you know. So I hope that this video is informative and entertaining, and also opens your eyes a little bit, you know. Try really hard not to kill bees, you know. If you're in a place where you see a beehive, just try really hard to stay away, because there's actually this thing that happens where if you kill a bee, it releases a chemical compound of sorts. It goes into the air and the other bees can smell it, I don't know, the chemical reaches the other bees and they know that one of their own was killed, and then they all swarm after you know. If there's any living thing around where the chemical is, they're gonna swarm you and attack you, you know. So you have to be really careful. You know, if you kill, like it's like you mess with one, you mess with all of them. That's kind of how bees work, you know. And you just be careful, guys. In general, just try really hard to be careful around bees, you know, but at the same time appreciate them. Don't kill them and don't provoke them, you know, because if you, for example, if you see a beehive and you take a big rock and throw it at the beehive, I'm sorry, but you deserve to get stung, you know. Now, the more bees sting you at the same time, the more of a chance you're gonna have of, you know, getting sick and maybe even dying, you know. It's a very complicated concept, you know. I don't even know if I am allergic. I have been stung by a bee once in my life. It was on my foot and it really hurt, you know. It stung like hell, you know. It burned a little bit, but I think like the next day, after a day or two, I was okay, you know. But then again, it was only one bee, and I think they have that thing where bees are essentially nature's kamikazes, you know, because they sting you and then the stinger breaks off, you know, and apparently the stinger is really important to their body, you know. It's kind of like us being cut in half at the torso. I actually do think that's what happens. I think that when a bee stings you, like like the sting represents half of its body or something, you know, or a big portion of it, and then it breaks off and eventually the bee dies. So bees are literally kamikazes, you know. They're kamikaze pilots. They go in to sting you and then they die. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Unless the bee movie lied to me. But anyway, I think that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to say, you know, give you a few interesting tidbits about bees and how important they are to us, you know. 70% of the entire agriculture on this planet, bees are responsible for. If we lose bees overnight, it's going to be a very unpleasant chain reaction of events leading to us being without food. So we really need bees, you know. The same way we need predators in the jungles and the oceans to control the population, you know, the food chain, you know. Like if certain predators, apex predators like wolves or sharks, you know, disappear from their ecosystems, I mean, their prey is going to proliferate out of control. It's going to be crazy, you know. Everything has a balance. Nature is literally the perfect example of balance in the world, you know, and bees are the biggest balance that we need. So please, if you see a bee or more, just don't kill them. Please preserve the bees and let's preserve society. And that's it. That has been today's video. I hope you guys found it informative and entertaining. I like recording these videos where I tell you guys about how stuff works in the world. It's really cool. And yeah, I'm gonna be recording some more too later. So that's it, guys. That's it for now. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. And please like and subscribe, comment, and send this to all of your friends who didn't know. And that's it. This is Chazzy, signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.